I saw some boobies on the road. I wanted to show you guys. Hold on. Ooh. Look at all of them. Yeah, I'm just that guy, you know, standing in the middle of the median. Look at him out there just living his best life. Sitting in his pajamas. Messing with mushrooms. Look at this guy. He's just colossal. Colossal. I'm gonna get these guys home because I'm in the middle of the road and we'll talk about what we got. So just so we know from the very start, this is not a beginning mushroom at all. But maybe we can use this time here to show you how precautious we can be and how much research we need to do to know what we have. Because this mushroom looks an awful lot like other mushrooms. Some which are very edible and delicious and choice, some which are very deadly. So as we get into the world of bulbous bottoms, annuluses, and gills, specifically white in appearance gills, the danger level goes up. I really want to know exactly what I have, so I'm going to carefully remove the dirt from the bottom. So first things first, I take several specimens and I'm going to bring them home and I'm going to get a spore print. Sometimes a spore print will be lighter colored or it will be darker colored. So by using a piece of black and a piece of white, you make sure that even if it's lighter colored, you get it on the black piece. And if it's darker colored, then you'll get it on the white piece of paper. The next part is making sure that you have done 100% all the research you can possibly do, coming to the conclusion you know exactly what it is that you have before you move forward on any sort of medicinal use or just, you know, easing your grumbly, hungry tummy. Cleaning this guy off all the way will allow me to know any sort of feature that might be down here, sometimes subterraneously. Like the Amanita variety typically has a vulva, a paper kind of like sac that's on the bottom. So just by cleaning this off very carefully, I see that there is no vulva. So I'm already starting to kind of weed out potentialities of what this mushroom might be. So I was taking notes when I got this guy. Where did I get this guy? Where did I find him? Was it in full sun? Was it in a dimly lit forest? If it was in a forest, what was it growing next to? Was it next to pines? Was it next to hardwoods? Now, if you look back at the video, no, not that part, the other part. It was not around any sort of trees at all, and it kind of seemed like there was a ring of them, like I was standing in the center of what is oftentimes referred to as a fairy ring. So that's something you need to take into account when you're trying to identify mushrooms. Okay, so now a few simple little tests. Does it bruise a certain color? What does it smell like? Its appearance. How thick is its stipe? Does it have an annulus? This one has an annulus. Gill color. I'm taking all these things into account. Also, we're going to take note of the distinctive cap features, like the scaly presence on the top with the centralized concentration of it being right at the apex of the mushroom. You can see here, like where I was trying to see down towards the bottom here, all of that thumbing getting the dirt off, it stained brown. These are all things I'm taking note of. Also, does it have a smell? Smells kind of fruity. And I'm also looking at the type of gill structure that it has. Like this has free gills, meaning it's got almost this little ring around it where the gill stops just before it gets to the stipe. This is why we take multiple specimens as well responsibly. You know, you obviously don't want to pull up every one of the mushrooms that you see just so it can continue to propagate, because they all serve a purpose. But this way I can take the cap off from the stipe and I can also do a little bit of an examination. What I find is that there is a almost perfect disconnect without a lot of trauma or kind of like ripping or anything. It's almost like this is just a little bit of almost like a button at the top. And then also examining the cap, you see it's a very thin layer of flesh between this and the top of the mushroom. Now I'm going to look at this annulus here. So this is where at one point there was a veil around the mushroom and it erupted and broke up and out, leaving behind this almost like an umbilical cord. Sometimes whenever you mess around with the annulus, you'll see if it breaks free, and sometimes it'll slide up and down the stipe here. This one seems like it is attached. Yep, it is attached. If I were to pull down on it, I would have to break. You'll see here. It's tearing. See? It's very attached. So now I'm taking note of the stipe, which is just a fancy mycology word for stem. I'm looking here, I'm noticing that it's very brown, and then above the annulus it was white. So now I have a whole bunch of features that I can look up. And what's great about this Peterson handbook here, as long as it's up to date, because mushrooms shift like species and stuff all the time, you want to make sure you have an up-to-date book. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to use this handy dandy little wheel that's provided in here that allows you to kind of track down the guy you're looking for. So I'm looking and I'm noticing that it has white gills, and this says white or buff. Okay, so now I'm going to go here, and the first thing I'm going to do, you want to work your way out from the center of this wheel. If you look, you notice right here, we already discussed that it's got free gills, and this is the indicator for free gill right here, where you can see that arrow is putting a gap between the gill and the stipe. So now I know I have free gill. So this is the free gill section right here. So now I'm going to go down. Oh, we have a white cap. We indicated that. We have a white stipe or stem. Okay, and this is relatively large, the stipe. So I'm going to start on page 108. Just one look at this page lets you know why you do such extensive research with mushrooms that appear like the one we have. Chlorine death cap, destroying angel, onion foot death cap. This is why we do our own research. None of these really match the description, so I'm going to turn the page. Continuing the process and reading through, I find one that definitely stands out and has all of the earmarks of the mushroom that I have, and it is the green gill. But I don't stop there. I continue to read just to make sure, and I come across another one that it seems like it could be as well. That's the shaggy parasol. I continue to read and I find yet another, the parasol mushroom. And then one last one, the rosy parasol. Now I play a game of process of elimination. This one, the stipe doesn't match and the annulus easily falls off. This one stains yellow first and also turns kind of a reddish rosy color when mature, so that's not it. So we've narrowed it down to the shaggy parasol and also the toxic green gill. The green gill will have pale yellowish or grayish green spores. Meanwhile, the shaggy parasol will have white. So we've narrowed it down as far as we can. Now we're relying on the spore print. I like to wait 24 hours for my spore prints just to be sure to get a good one, so you're going to have to wait too. Come back tomorrow for part 2 on identifying a possibly deadly, possibly edible mushroom. Guys, in the comments, let me know if this is helpful so far. Let me know if there's anything I missed. And if you like this content, then give me a like, share, and a follow. That really helps in the algorithm. Also, follow me on YouTube under the same name, Deadeye Two Tongues. Check out my merch store in my bio. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And most importantly, out of everything, I hope you stay wild. Love y'all.